I'm headed to a Cypher hip hop happenings at My Voice Music here in Portland, Oregon. I won't lie, I'm a little conflicted on going, not because don't love ciphers. It's just shaping up to be one of those days where, because I started late, the plan is to get up, work, stream to prepare for this launch of the VidFlow Lab. And then before streaming, I would stream, be done, and it would be a good old 11:30, and I would have enough time to make my way to the cipher. That did not happen. Slept in. So now I'm going to the cipher with the hopes that the energy, spinning some freestyles, getting my mind just kind of pumped, performing a little bit. There's going to be a live band. That's kind of a cool part with it. Will put me in this hype, energetic state. And in this state, my motivation will shift and I will be able to come back and stream. But I'm also thinking I may not do the stream today. I may just record this video, throw it in the editing software, clip it up, put it out as soon as I possibly can. Either way, done is better than planned perfect. There's just always that tension between just like the things really long-term goals and short-term goals, right? In this case, long-term goals is growth rap, building the community, long-term and ongoing goals. That's what I was trying to get to. And they all can conflict with each other. There's a challenge of the priority. So I wonder, how do people deal with that? How do you deal with that? Tell me in a comment section, wherever this may end up. How do you deal with the tension and the priority between conflicting goals, between your short-term, long-term, and ongoing goals? I'm going to focus on driving now. We'll see what happens next. All I can say is that was dope. Had a good time. I got a little maybe like B-roll footage of the cipher. Nothing with me on the mic because I didn't want to be rapping and videoing myself at the same time. And I think, quite honestly, it was good for me to just kind of do it for me, really. Man, so many things to recap. I think the one idea I want to at least start with would probably be the most recent, is just the idea about flow state and experiencing flow state. Like what I just did in there, I experienced flow state multiple times. And not to say that everything that I was spitting was my best freestyling I've ever done in my life. But it felt that way. It gave me that feeling. Like how I would imagine I would feel if I were spitting the absolute best freestyling of my life is what I got to experience in the cipher today. And that feeling is a flow state feeling. And you can experience that without spitting the absolute best in your life, right? Because you experience it without the judgment. I was talking to a fellow MC in there, and he was expressing at the end of it how, like, yeah, you guys are so good. I'm better at writing. I'm better at putting the thoughts together. And I don't know, I have this pet peeve. I call it a friendly pet peeve because, I'm not going to like judge anybody who says this to me. But when I hear people limit themselves, limit their creativity, especially around freestyling, improvising, I'm always wanting to say something. So I tell them, it's like, hey, part of what's necessary to be able to do this, to be able to freestyle and to experience and get into a flow state, performing your best, all that stuff, you actually have to practice shutting down the judgment, the critical thoughts, the part that will tell you that, because you don't know what you're going to say next, don't go, don't try, don't speak. You shouldn't do it. Because when that part of the brain is active, you can't get into flow state. When you are in flow state, that part of the brain is actually deactive. So I go on to tell them that when you practice letting go of those judgments, not activating them, not listening to them, and just continue to flow, to continue to put your ideas and your thoughts out there, you have yourself the greatest chance of experiencing flow. And then it's a conversation I had afterwards that relates to this next point about, so in the flow cycle, right, it actually starts with struggle. So the judgment that comes into your mind right before you kick a verse, it tells you, you can't, you're not that good. Whatever the voice says to you before you start to freestyle or improvise or do something new, it prevents you from engaging the first step of the flow cycle, and that's struggle. Especially if it's something that you want to do, a skill that you want to have. If you want to be able to freestyle and you feel like you struggle in it, that judgmental voice prevents you from engaging the first step. So you have to be open to struggling. You have to shut off the judgmental part of your brain that's telling you that you're going to suck, that you're going to be bad, in order to do the thing and be bad at it. Because once you do the thing and be bad at it, you're engaged in the first step. You're engaged in the struggle. For you to even notice that you're bad at it while you're doing it, but if you keep going, you'll learn to release that part. And that's the next part of the flow cycle, right? You release the urge, the need to judge. And I think the releasing comes, what you learn is that, oh, my judgment at the beginning that was preventing me from spitting a rhyme was just trying to keep me safe. I'm going to let that go. Now I'm going to be bad. I'm going to try it and it's going to be bad. I'm not going to know. I'm going to feel uncertain. I'm going to feel the struggle of it. But just because I'm feeling the struggle does not mean I am unsafe. So then you have more permission to release that judgmental, self-critical part of the brain. And then once you do that release, you activate and you're in flow. And there's things that you can do once you're in flow to enhance the experience, stay in it longer. And I'm doing this, talking about this all through the lens of freestyling, improvised rapping. You'll freestyle, you'll go for as long as you so choose. for as long as you feel like the flow's alive, then you stop, and then you recover. And the best way to recover is not to engage the self-critical part of the brain again. That's like judging, right? Looking for everything that was wrong. Probably the best thing to do in recovering is to, if you're going to look for anything, look for what you enjoyed. Look for what felt good. Because that will then kind of charge the cycle again. Because now that you're focusing on the successes, on what felt good, you're more likely to be charged up enough to re-engage the struggle again once you go back in. And I've experienced this in teaching freestyling in a Cypher with high school students. Because you can see the moment when they kind of tap into that flow and they experience it. It's like it's embodied. Because the next time they go in, there's less hesitation. And then I've seen the opposite where like it takes a few times for people to let go of that judgment, right? And they're still trying to prepare to make the struggle part gets easier because they're still engaging. They're still using the judge and the critic to protect themselves from a sense of danger if they are not good at what they're attempting to do. And of course, there's no danger in freestyling. So, yeah. It was a great experience. A lot of good things to talk about. I think I could, there's some things I needed to process it for my own growth and just continue to, spearhead this movement, if you will. Okay, I'm gonna clip this one here and then I'll discuss another point. All right, here's the next point. The next point is you cannot flourish by just staying out of pain. Staying out of pain is not enough to flourish in your life. There are things that you need to do to cultivate flourishing and your well-being. You need to do things to experience positive emotion. You need to do things to experience engagement. You have to take actions to be in positive relationships. You have to do things to have a sense of meaning in your life. And you have to do things to accomplish stuff. All right. And you have to do things to maintain your health and vitality. One of the things you can do, especially for engagement, is develop a growth rap practice. All right. Because by developing a growth rap practice, there's a lot of ways those attributes for well-being get cultivated. But engagement, flow, gets cultivated. It gives us a clear goal as far as mastering aspects of rap skills. But you get to experience flow state with it, playing this game. And you can experience flow state at any level that you have, any skill level that you have in rap. You can do this for at least 20 minutes or less a day and improve your life, improve your well-being. So I just got out of the Cypher and I experienced flow state, and that improved my well-being just by doing and engaging the experience. It's like, and you could do this every day. And what I used to do is I used to go to a Cypher or an event, freestyle, feel good. And then if I didn't record it, feel pretty bad because it's like, that was pointless. I can't turn it into a song because I forgot what I said. I won't remember what I said. But now that I understand that, me experiencing the flow state for as little as I did actually correlates with me having a greater satisfaction in my life and improved well-being, it's enough. The time you spend freestyling just for its own sake is enough. The time you spend writing verses, writing lyrics and rhymes, putting them together, even if you don't know how the song's gonna come together, it's enough. The time you spend listening to lyrics and just analyzing them, breaking down because you want to and you enjoy it, it's enough. You get permission to just engage in your rap craft. And by giving yourself that permission, you are actively doing things to improve your well-being. You're not waiting until you're in pain and discomfort and then going to a tool to try to relieve it. You can, it works for that. But having a growth rap practice, you can engage in this every day, even when things are going well, even when you're not in pain. And what I'm excited about is seeing how growth rap and rhyme masters grow and continue to lead and develop and cultivate more ways for you to practice and engage and experience flow state through our rap skills. Then I'm excited for us to have opportunities to come together, and I'm excited about the impact that can have of people really knowing how to build themselves up in a strength-based way. That flow state, it's like you feel flow state because you're operating from your core strengths. And if you have a disposition towards words, poetry, and if you're really watching this, right, and you engage, like dealing with words, part of your core strength. So you can use your core strengths in a way to improve your well-being, which then has beautiful ripple effects for yourself and your family and your friends and your community. And I'm excited by that possibility. As always, Genius Over Doubt. Deuces.